Today we're talking F1 24 game ideas, specifically my team and normal career mode, ideas that I want, ideas that you guys want, because I've gone back through the comment section of videos we've done in the past, and especially for last year's game, obviously from 22 to 23, absolutely nothing got added to the game mode of career mode as a whole, so all the ideas that you guys had in the comment sections of previous game ideas videos are still valid because EA and Codemasters took none of it on board. And with F1 23 sales down by 47%, EA, Codies, you need to start listening to your community and actually understand what your player base wants. So I've combed through comment sections, I've come up with my own, I've got a load of ideas written down here, and we're just going to rattle them off and discuss them a little bit. As usual with these videos, if you like these ideas, let me know in the comments below and sound off. Give us some more ideas in the comments, and let's turn the comment section into a bit of a forum that maybe, hopefully, someone from Codies and EA can look at for ideas and inspiration for not just next year's F1 game, but future games as well, because there's way too many to fit into a yearly sports title. Starting off with quite a big one, and one that I've actually only come to realise would be a really good idea on this year's game, having had my team career mode now for 3 games since 2020. But it's actually combining normal driver career mode and my team career mode. Give us the flexible option of what you want to do. And what I mean by that is you start a career mode. Let's just get rid of the names. You start a career mode, normal career mode, and you start off as a driver. You're new to Formula 1. You work your way up the ranks, you know, from your AlphaTauri to a Red Bull or Haas to a Ferrari, whatever. And then after 2-3 seasons, you feel like, okay, I need a new challenge. Let's create my own team. You know, having the ability to basically do both careers in one save file, and it's all interconnected, you know, with the driver transfers you've had in the previous seasons, would be awesome. Vice versa, if you were doing a My Team career mode, there's been a lot of talk of having the ability to leave the team you've made, but still have them exist on the grid, and you go up against your own team, basically. Obviously, I actually managed to do this with a mod on last year's F1 game, where I drove for Ferrari up against my own team, which was sick, because you've built up this team, you've spent whatever, you know, 2-3 seasons doing the R&D, doing the, you know, investment, and now you go up against them, and you're driving for a different car, you know, an actual team in Formula 1. And, you know, like I said, with the first part of it, just being able to start that, you know, realistic, authentic way in Formula 1 as a rookie, getting a small drive, working your way up, and then you decide, okay, let's make my own team now. I think now, having done my team for 3 games in a row, I think combining the two, or at least having the ability to do 2 at the same time, is in, like, you can still have just my team, you can still just have driver, but in the middle of that save, there's mechanics where you can swap over and continue your save, just adding a team or moving away from your team. And it wouldn't be difficult, I don't think, technically. If you look at both game modes, they are exactly the same mechanics-wise, UI-wise. The menus are the exact same for driver career mode. They just remove the HQ facility management. So I don't think technically it would be too difficult to actually make that happen. That brings me on to the next point, talking about menus. The game needs a massive, massive aesthetics revamp. Like, the fact that we've got the same menu system for 3 years in a row is just lazy. It's just lazy. And I know the whole kind of, you know, don't change it if it's not broke kind of thing. The menu system works well. But that's the whole point of having yearly sports titles. You feel that refresh. You see it in other franchises, you know, now EAFC, Madden, NHL. You know, every year, a new menu can just breathe life. It sounds silly to get stuck up on a menu and the way it looks, but realistically, you actually look at it for quite a lot of the time when you're playing these games, when you're managing through R&D, etc. And we just need a revamp. If it's the exact same thing in 24, I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna end it all, because oh my days, it needs to be switched up. And not just my team or career mode, the whole game, I think, could benefit from going back to the more authentic paddock vibes menus. It feels a little bit cold and a little bit kind of I don't know, they've tried to go for that slickness, that kind of, you know, slick modern look, but you've lost the paddock vibes. You've lost that F1 feel, which we actually had a couple of years ago. You know, cast your minds back to F1 2017 and 16. There were these beautiful paddock vistas where every track you went to in career mode, subtly the background would change and you could actually recognize the circuit in the background. It kind of really got us back to the feels we had all the way back in F1 2010. And I know it may just be a bit of a nostalgia trip of those menus, but genuinely, I literally booted up those games to record the gameplay to show you on screen what I mean. And genuinely, I was like, nah, this looks better. This menu style and playing this hub looks 10 times better than what we've got now. Absolutely. So I think they need to bring that back and bring it back with a buzz, because obviously now we're in, you know, 2023 going to 24. The tech, the graphics, surely you'll be able to make it look even better now on the next gen of consoles. Not only do I think we need paddock vibes back in for the main menu or just every menu based in the game, I think, you know, everything needs a shake-up. The UI, the R&D UI, the facilities need new vistas. We've had the same HQ facility vistas for 3 games now. It's just lazy. You need to change it. I know, again, like, if it's not broke, but that's the whole point. You've got to refresh it. It's literally a copy and paste job for the last 3 years. Refresh that stuff. And the same with R&D. I've been a big advocate for, as much as the new R&D system, the way it's displayed, was nice when it came in 2021, I believe it was. I actually missed the R&D tree, and I think you can get the best of both worlds. Having the tree, and then I've said this many times, you just zoom in, and then you get that grid view that we've got now, where you can actually see the tangible parts. Because I know why they did it. They did it so you can see the actual parts, and it's a bit more authentic of, oh, this wing flap, you know, this, you know, actuator or whatever for the engine or whatever. But I think having the tree also gave you a good sense of how teams were set up, because you could see, Williams has got like a lot on the engine side maybe, or Ferrari has got a lot on the engine in 2019 per se, or Red Bull's got more on the aero side of their tree. And it was nice to see that difference team to team, and it's very hard to tell that now with the list. And I think, I don't know, an R&D tree, the whole fog of war, that was a good thing. People really praised that for a reason when it came into the game, and for whatever reason, they just moved away from it. Speaking about bringing things back, which is kind of annoying to say that, you know, this portion, this idea, a lot of it is bringing old things back, but it seems like Cody's kind of got ahead of the EA curve about removing things and then maybe adding them back in as a new feature, and I'm giving them some free ones basically here, is bringing back the cutscenes where you've got your agent, you know, that iconic cutscene where if you get fired in career mode, your agent comes in, puts the thing on the desk like, you know, you're fired. That's sick. Remake that. Make a new version of that. I want cutscenes for, you know, our engineers as well. You can have things like debriefs after races where you go through and you see your teammate rendered into like a board, you know, little, you know, the motorhome, and you're doing a debrief or whatever, and you actually get asked questions by your engineer of what you think went well. Should we go this way for the next few races? And that might give you a discount on R&D. Like if your engineer goes, do you think we're too slow on the straights today in the debrief, and you answer it correctly, you might get a discount on drag reduction for the next race possibly. And then that goes into actual gameplay, and then it's actually worthwhile sitting through these cutscenes and seeing it through, because it actually affects the way you play the game then. This next one's a given. I've said it many times. I'm literally even making my own mod for it on this current game, but building our own engine. Red Bull are making their own engine, so we should be able to make our own engine in my team. And I saw a comment from one of the game ideas like a couple of months ago in the comments, which was really sick actually, is then you can sell that engine to official F1 teams, and then it actually gives you an onus of why you would want to make your own engine, not just for your own performance, but also then actually the economy going forwards of you can sell it to a team, and then you can get fun, stuff off that, and you can get kind of perks from selling to other teams. So just expanding that and actually using a bit of real F1, the fact that you've got teams now making their own engines. I mean, obviously already the works teams all make their own engines anyway and then sell them, so why not be able to do it for us? Formula 3 is another idea that's come up a lot for you guys in the comments, even though personally for me, I don't know how much worth it would be, but it keeps coming up in all the comments, so I can't not put it in. yeah, Formula 3 drivers in the game, or just Formula 3 as a whole. So then maybe, finally, they could actually do a proper tier system career mode. Because right now, you technically can do F2 into F1, but it's really half-arsed. Like, it's not a connected career mode. If they brought in F3 ever, they could do a proper, like, Project Cars style from the bottom to the top. You have to go through a season of Formula 3, or you can choose to do that. You do F3, you get up to F2, and you have actual proper contract systems, negotiations with teams on the next tier from F3 to F2, and then F2 to F1. You know, maybe, you know, like real life F2 to F1. A lot of the times, even if you win the damn thing, you don't get a seat, so you become a reserve driver. And then let's throw it back to F1 2009, a game that's, you know, 10 plus years old at this stage. They used to have testing sessions where you would do testing to try and earn a contract. So let's say you're a reserve driver for an F1 team because you won F2 in the career mode. Then you know, let's say they make a fake scenario. Oh, one of our main drivers is, you know, he's has an injury or whatever. Can you step in for one race? And then that is your audition to get a drive for that team for the following season. Or you just do a testing session and get through. So if they ever did add F3, I think they have to add it in and do it properly, and actually do a proper gameplay, you know, contract system and everything to actually have that ladder. Because right now they, any a representative of the game would say, oh no, F2 is in the game and you can do F2 to F1. You can, but it's a bit naff. It's not really a proper connected career. You have like the affinity of choosing a team because you're in an academy, but it's really just like 2 clicks of a menu and that's it. And you don't really feel like anything's actually happened. There are no cutscenes to immerse you with the fact that you've chosen Ferrari as a driver academy. So I think if you're going to add F3, do it properly. That would be sick. And then also a really cool comment that I saw from one of the other Game Ideas videos we did was, because of that, if you added F3, then for my team, if you're a team owner, why not have the ability to make your own kind of F1 academy per se? And so you could scout F3 talent, F2 talent, and you could pre-plan 2-3 seasons in advance someone you might want to sign. It's a bit long-winded for an F1 game, the driving one. It sounds a bit more like a manager style kind of thing, but it is a cool way to go, maybe, to really get that full immersion of what having your own team could be like. Because a lot of the top teams, obviously, do have academies. They do scout drivers for 2-3 years in advance. And I think it would be cool to start to develop a system like EA FC, where you have potentials for drivers. Like, it's so cool always on, you know, when I've watched FIFA videos and career mode videos from, you know, football creators, where they're talking about, like, oh, this is a wonder kid. He's got a potential of, like, 97 or whatever. It'd be sick for us to start talking and having these convos as a community about, like, oh, like this F3 driver or this regen is a wonder driver, you know, let's sign him up because he has a potential of like 95. He's the next Verstappen or Hamilton or whatever. That would be sick to do, and there is potential for that. Speaking about signing drivers and whatever, I think they need to bring back kind of more thorough contract negotiations. They had, you know, contract perks and stuff that are there in F1 23, but they're hidden away in a menu. I want to see them, again, back in a cutscene where you're actually negotiating. In previous F1 games, they had contract perks linking to, like, what is now HQ facilities. But I would just like to see just a bit more of an in-depth version of that. Kind of, again, mimicking another EA game, is where you have a cutscene negotiating your salary, you come in and you actually negotiate, and then the salary, you know, if they wanted to link it to freaking F1 World or whatever, they could do for like the in-game currency. I don't know, just some way to feel a bit more immersed in it. And one thing that I liked from, what was it? It was, I think it was F1 2016, is in driver career, you could see teams that were interested in you. Why is that not a thing anymore? Why is that not a thing where you can see AI teams' interest in you? Like, I would love to see, like, oh, you know, these 3 teams are interested in me. And same for my team. You know, if you could leave your own team, you know, Ferrari's really interested in you. Would you ever want to leave your own team to drive for Ferrari? And seeing that kind of, you know, reputation level. And that's another thing. Reputation, I think, needs to be brought back. The older system they had, where you've got a claim, yeah, but a claim for my team only equates to, you know, the amount of money you might get in the contract when you renew, or the actual sponsors. But in terms of reputation for other teams, to want you. And also, I think they need to bring in things like staff hiring, like team principals, engineers, because then if you did, the acclaim for the team could play into that. Like, if you have a high enough acclaim, a team principal might want to actually sign for you or whatever, or an engineer, sorry, because you're technically the team principal. An engineer might want to sign for you, and that might boost your teammates' pit stops or your pit stops, and it actually makes a bit more sense rather than buying just an upgrade on HQ facility for a pit stop or whatever. And then the final thing I'm going to hit on before I let you go for today is your teammate. I think there needs to be a lot more with your teammate. You know, we've spoken about for now, I literally think 5 years. I think since F1 2018, we've been saying this in Game Ideas videos. But there needs to be team orders. There needs to be a way to actually communicate with this bloody prat on the other side of the garage. Like, the amount of times you double stack with your teammate, it's so frustrating. Either for you, because you've had to be behind them, or you're ahead of them and they've got disrupted. You need to be able to kind of just tell your engineer, like, look, can you tell my teammate not to pit this lap? And have that comms. Or a way of determining it before the race has begun. Like, you just set a setting of, like, you know, I'm number one driver, so you're not going to pit if I choose to pit. You're going to by default go the next lap, because right now they just come in, they mill about, and they get the double stack, and it's so annoying, it's so frustrating. I said this earlier in the video, but team debriefs, I think it'll be cool to have some sort of dialogue with your teammate, and kind of, you know, determining maybe development routes. Maybe your AI teammate answers your engineer's question differently. Like, I go, yeah, we didn't have enough straight line speed, I want drag reduction, but your teammate in driver career mode is more senior to you, so his opinion matters more. So he answers one way. Or in my team career mode, if you sign Verstappen as your teammate, obviously he's going to, well, it's bloody Verstappen, so people are going to listen to him. So even if you're in your own my team career mode, if you said, I want, you know, a drag reduction upgrade, and he goes, nah, I think we need a chassis upgrade, it goes to him, and the upgrade that we get, or the discount we get on that upgrade, goes to what Verstappen said, because he's got more acclaim. He's got like 25 acclaim versus our like 3 acclaim or 10 acclaim maybe when we have the chance to sign Verstappen in our career mode per se. And then also I think just things like training your teammate, instead of upgrading personnel facilities, maybe break apart that HQ facility and kind of turn it more into more gameplay, like of actually training your teammate up, or, you know, kind of just having a more of a dialogue or gameplay aspect of that, rather than just like a quick easy menu of like, oh, I'll just buy that, because it doesn't really work like that exactly in real life. I know they have to gamify it, but I would like just to see a bit more interaction with your teammates. So those are some kind of initial first big picture ideas for F1 24 and other future F1 games. Like I said, unfortunately, a few of these ideas are kind of almost like kind of taking inspiration from older F1 games and bringing them back in. And there's actually a lot of ideas like that. So let me know in the comments below if you guys want me to make a future video about past F1 game features, actually going through game by game and picking out features that I'd want to see back in to the modern F1 games. Let me know if you want to see that in the future. But those are kind of big picture ones that I had and you guys had from comments below. Like I said, comment down below any other ideas you have, and as usual, I'll kind of wait a little bit, collate the best ones, thumbs up ideas you like, and if they're actually new, genuinely new kind of interesting ideas, I'll collate them all and we'll make another one. And, you know, this is the kind of time to start talking about it, September, because they're already probably starting to make F1 24, and like I said, with sales massively down, and you can see on YouTube the interest massively down for this year's F1 game, they need to really pull up their socks next year and come out with a home run with everything to do with the game, really. So yeah, hopefully someone from there is watching and is taking note of some of these ideas, because this is what your community wants. It's not just me. A lot of these ideas I've just picked out from comments from the community that watches. So yeah, hopefully someone's listening. But guys, if you have enjoyed the video, hit the like button, let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.